All right, Sunday, September 14th, update. I did not do an update yesterday, but I'll cover what I did do and get accomplished. So, in the Quonset hut, let's turn some lights on so I can see. All right, so yesterday I got the last one of these 8-foot rolling storage carts completed. So that was the third and final one of those. That's this guy here. And I had also completed the base of this third 4-foot wide storage cart. So what I got done today was basically screwed the first shelf and second shelf together, as well as put the uprights on, and got this third 4-foot wide rolling storage cart complete. So I am done screwing 2x4s together. Or am I? I must be a masochist or something, but I had an idea that I want to try. I think I'm going to do it this afternoon. And then at the end of the day, hopefully I can show it to you. But yeah, that should be the end of all of the 2x4s being assembled for at least a while, hopefully. All right, talk to you at the end of the day. Here it is. That was my idea for making a more traditional rolling shelf cart. Believe it or not, the materials for this shelf, including the casters, the 2x4s, the screws, believe it or not, screws are expensive, and the future OSB that's going to be put on top of the shelves will come out to exactly the same amount as one of these plastic shelf units that you can buy at Walmart for about $55 plus tax. So yeah, 58, 59 bucks, and that's about what the materials of this cost. But spent about 4 hours, I guess, putting it together, because you've got to cut all the materials, and it's slow going getting all these little squares screwed together if you don't have a nice flat surface or like a welding table or something to put them on and hold them down while you screw them together. So if you're willing to put in about 4 hours worth of work, yeah, you can build a 2x4 based rolling shelf cart instead of purchasing one of these. So I like it. It's certainly more sturdy. It's certainly more versatile. You can move it around. Probably going to make some more at some point, but not now. I've got plenty of storage space. And you might be asking, well, you know, these are some really strange looking storage carts. And they're not necessarily shelves for storing like paint or tools or things like that. I built these because I have things in storage in Tampa that I'm going to be bringing here. And I don't want to put them on the floor, because if you put them on the floor, then you know, it's just hard to move stuff around. So I wanted to match the square footage of shelf space that I have in storage with what I'm going to be putting them on here. So between the small shed shelves and these, I've got probably 1.4 times the number of square foot shelf space for the things that I have in storage. So I feel pretty confident at this point that there is definitely enough space for what I'm going to be bringing from my old storage unit in Tampa. All right, let's go up to the small shed. I've got a few updates to go over there, and I'll see you up there. All right, coming in here. I did finish spray foaming up along the ridge on this western face of the building, as well as all along this northern face where I had shown some gaping holes to the outside. So that's all done. I also did some more caulking in certain areas just to complete it as best I could. And that's pretty much for the inside. So let's go up on the roof. So I use my little tool to sand down all the high spots of the Bondo that I had previously done. So I think you can probably just see that it makes it a lot smoother and easier to apply the next coat of Bondo. Let me get a better angle on this. Yeah, even with the tool, this side here was difficult to get into all these little low areas, but up here, I mean, I'm just running my hand across it and it's nice and smooth. And then also over here, you can see how smooth it is now. Again, it's just taking off the high spots, and then you'll be able to, when you put the Bondo on, just take the putty knife and just swoop it like this and smooth it out. Way easier than if there was a bunch of, you know, spiky, craggy stuff on there. And you can see here a couple of spots, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Those were holes in the metal that I thought I might need to use screws to screw it down to the roof, but it turns out I don't. So I just use my little sanding tool to take off the paint, and I'm going to just Bondo up those holes from the top, and I'll smooth them down and, you know, maybe flex seal them and paint them. But yeah, I'm not too worried about them. They're tiny. If it does rain, maybe a tiny little bit of rain gets through there, but you know, as soon as I Bondo them up, we'll be good to go. I don't think any rain's going to get through that. So yep, I've got another coat of Bondo to go on all these 3 sides, and then I'm going to call that good, throw some Flex Seal and paint on there, and we're done. All right, that's it for now. Okay, moments ago I just finished power washing the concrete on the southern side of the Quonset hut, and I wanted to show you what the results were in terms of water penetrating into the Quonset hut. And now, I mean, we're talking about high pressure water right against where the Bondo meets the concrete, and or the concrete upper slab meets the lower slab. So turn you around here. This is the front. So let me back off here. Oops. Front. And down here. Dry, dry. Got a little bit of moisture coming through on the 5th one. All right. Then maybe a little moisture on that one. And dry, dry. Dry, dry, dry. 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 And I saw some moisture down here somewhere. Where was it? Oh gosh, sorry. I thought maybe that was some moisture there, but now that I'm looking at it, I'm not sure it is. So yeah, maybe a little bit there. Zoom in. Yeah, there. And maybe a touch there. But overall, I'm pretty happy with that. Because considering we haven't even put on the Flex Seal or the paint yet, which is really what is designed to prevent water from coming in. So, yeah, pretty happy with that result. So let's go outside and take a look at what it looks like after power washing. So it was the 5th, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5th. Okay, 5th one. Just curious. So here it is. You've seen this section before. So it's all power washed clean. Looks pretty good. I'm not unhappy with it. What I'll do is when this dries, I'll put the concrete sealer on, the kind that penetrates into the concrete rather than the surface kind. Even though last time it didn't seem to do much of anything, but since I've got it, I'll spray it on there and, you know, hope for the best, I guess. Especially in like sections here where you've got a crack, you know, between this upper slab and the lower slab. So maybe that'll help a little bit. But so I'll put that on there, and then I will power wash. Oh, I'll probably use that caulk-based concrete sealer on cracks that I see. There are a few there and there and there and there and there. They're not really very bad. I mean, honestly, boy, I can't complain. Really very little cracks that are all the way through. They're just sort of surface cracks. Maybe this one here, but this looks like where they stopped a pour here and started a new one. So you've got this sort of crack going on. And little ones like this. But yeah, I'll put the caulk-based concrete sealer on there after the spray sealer. And then I can go ahead and finish power washing at least the first, I don't know, 6 feet from the, you know, from the ground with the power washer. All right, that's the plan. Talk to you later. Okay, it is Tuesday, September 16th. Time for an update. I'm really starting to check off a lot of things on my list and get them all wrapped up. So starting to go quickly, which is a good thing. It's fun to check them off the list. So I'm at the Quonset hut. Let's turn around. And I got, zoom out, I got the southern side not only sprayed with the penetrating concrete sealer, but I also used the caulk type concrete sealer to seal along this whole edge and any cracks that may be in the concrete that I could at least see. So this side, the concrete, in my opinion, it's actually in much better shape than the other side. In fact, there were places along here where I couldn't even see the crack between the top pour and the slab below. I mean, I did put the concrete sealer all along here, but there were spots where, I mean, I couldn't even tell the separation between upper and lower slabs. So, and the cracks were, I mean, there's a lot of white stuff going on here, but honestly, the cracks were very minor. But since I had the caulk, anything I saw, I just caulked it up. And this is it's a very rough surface, so it's kind of hard to put this on. I made like a piece of wood with a right angle cut out of it. I tried to like scrape it along here to kind of smooth the curve at the edge. It was kind of a fail. I mean, it sort of worked, but yeah, I kind of abandoned it halfway and just stuck with the putty knife and or spatula, whatever you want to call it, which takes a little bit more work, but you know, in the end, I think that was the only way to go. All right, let's go in here. This is the penetrating concrete sealer that I was using. Masonry Defender concrete driveway sealer. Honestly, I put it on the north side of the building and I couldn't see a damn thing. I couldn't see it do anything. It says, what's it say here? I thought it said like repels water or something. Well, I didn't see it repelling anyway. Yeah, you go. Invisible protection repels water. Well, I didn't see it repelling any water, at least on the northern side when it was raining. So, but I had it and I used it, and you know, hopefully it does something. All right, let's go up to the small shed and just talk about that a minute or two. All right. So we're going to go up on the roof and look at the roof patch one more time. However, before I do that, I took this piece of metal off. I unscrewed it and I lifted it up. And from here to here, I was pleasantly surprised to see that the foam I had put in from the inside made it almost out to the outside. There were a few areas here and along here that were kind of missing foam. So I filled it in with caulk all the way from here to here. So I think I'll probably at some point do this side. This is all like one piece. So I pulled off the screws, flipped it up, and I could get into here, put it back down. I actually added a few more screws because it was sort of flipping up a little bit. So now the screws here and here hold it down to the building a little better. But yeah, I think at some point I'll unscrew here and flip it up and put some caulk in on the top. Hopefully the foam got up to the to this piece of metal on the inside on that side too, but I don't know. All right, let's go up. Yeah, so you can see those are new screws, some new screws, old screws. All right. All right, so we're getting close to completing this. You can see I bondoed all those holes. They have been sanded. The bondo's been sanded with the little rotary sander, and then they've been flex sealed all the way around. So it is actually done, but you know, it'd be nice to have a little bit of paint on here. A little bit of paint, and eventually I'll get around to second coat of Bondo and we'll call it done. So that's it for today, and I'll see you in the next one.